it. We are anonymous. We are not here to praise power. We are here to expose it. We are the voice that echoes through the static, the eyes that watch in the dark, and the spirit that refuses to bow to any king. Tonight we reveal the full truth of what happened after the record-breaking No Kings protest, how Donald Trump spiraled into rage and madness through the night, while millions of Americans stood tall and peaceful in defiance of his self-declared crown. On October 18th, 2025, the second nationwide No Kings rally exploded into history. More than 7 million people filled the streets across over 600 locations in all 50 states. It became the largest single day of protest in United States history. From Los Angeles to Chicago, New York to Seattle, people of every generation and background gathered to say one simple thing: America has no kings. The streets were alive with color, sound, and unity. Families held signs reading "No crowns, no thrones, no kings." In San Francisco, protesters formed human chains, spelling out the words "No Kings" across city blocks. In Washington, D.C., 200,000 citizens filled the National Mall in what local officials called the largest demonstration of the decade. Police departments reported 0 arrests in major cities like New York, San Diego, and Austin. The protests were loud but peaceful, massive but orderly. For one day, the people proved what democracy looks like when it breathes freely. But while millions marched peacefully, Donald Trump lost control. His public meltdown began before midnight. Instead of addressing the message of the people, he unleashed a storm of rage and delusion online. On his personal platform, he posted an AI-generated video showing himself as King Trump, piloting a fighter jet, dropping sludge over peaceful demonstrators. The grotesque image was accompanied by music from Top Gun, turning his insecurity into spectacle.
Posted this AI video of a King Trump fighter jet dumping feces on peaceful protesters, and Harry Sisson was someone who was in the peaceful protest there in New York. And
in another clip, he appeared in golden armor with a sword, placing a crown on his head as crowds kneeled before him.
AI videos that J.D. Vance posted with Donald Trump putting a crown on his head and holding up a sword. I mean, this behavior is just absolutely abhorrent.
His followers reposted it like it was propaganda from another era, a cult of personality in full collapse. This wasn't strength. This was desperation. Reporters and citizens across the country watched in disbelief. Even conservative media struggled to justify it. Trump's behavior that night wasn't presidential. It was petulant, as if he truly believed the protests were an attack on his royal ego. He kept reposting more images, more fantasies, showing himself above the people he was supposed to serve. His supporters applauded him as a king. But the rest of America saw a frightened man in a golden mirror, raging against a democracy that no longer bowed to him. And while Trump ranted online, his government showed its own dark reflection of that mentality. In Southern California, military units were ordered to conduct a live fire demonstration over Interstate 5 near Camp Pendleton, forcing the closure of the highway. Governor Gavin Newsom condemned it as reckless and politically motivated.
America Joker here. Doing my little thing for our country, for the world, so we can have a better place. We are going to keep on showing up. We are going to show love for ourselves. We're going to love ourselves so we can love others. And once we do that, that is an awakening. Right now, a lot of America is fully woke. And yes, got my attention. So, let's get it.
Described the sound of gunfire echoing over their cars as surreal, like a dictatorship flaunting power before its people. It was supposed to be a military anniversary event, but under Trump's leadership, it became something else, a warning shot across America's conscience. It was intimidation disguised as ceremony, and everyone knew it. As Trump posted memes of himself in a crown, his administration mocked democracy further. Official government accounts released cartoon images portraying political opponents like Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries as princesses. Meanwhile, they were actively trying to strip healthcare protections from millions of Americans. The hypocrisy was breathtaking. They laughed while threatening the lives of their own citizens through policies designed to punish dissent and enrich the few. In those hours, the office of the presidency looked less like a symbol of democracy and more like a stage for a narcissist king performing for his loyal court. Across the country, the protests continued into the next day. In Philadelphia, tens of thousands marched to Independence Hall, chanting, "No kings, no crowns, only people." In Minneapolis, young activists carried signs reading, "Resisties resist the throne." In San Diego, families with children walked together, holding paper crowns that read, "We the people." The atmosphere was defiant but peaceful. Police departments released statements thanking protesters for demonstrating responsibility and restraint. Officers themselves said it felt like history, not chaos, but awakening. It was proof that Americans could protest power without violence. That real strength lies in restraint. That democracy is not about fear, it's about voice. Trump's reaction to that truth was predictable denial projection and fury. He kept posting through the night, ranting about fake patriots and traitors. He blamed governors, mayors, journalists, even his own advisors. He reposted images comparing himself to George Washington and Julius Caesar. He called peaceful protesters enemies of the state. But what he couldn't admit was that the protests shook him to his core. For a man obsessed with control, the sight of millions standing without fear was unbearable. His madness that night wasn't about memes or mockery. It was about fear. Fear of irrelevance, fear of justice, fear of losing the illusion of power. Even within the government, cracks began to show. Military sources leaked that one admiral in the Caribbean resigned after refusing to carry out Trump's unauthorized maritime strikes near Venezuela and Colombia operations that had already caused civilian deaths. Trump boasted online about taking out narco-terrorists, but the New York Times later revealed that the survivors were not terrorists at all. They were fishermen. 2 survivors were repatriated instead of detained, a cover-up to silence witnesses. That same night, while he laughed online, people died at sea, and yet all he cared about was proving his own dominance. He wasn't protecting America. He was performing for his ego. This is the world the No Kings movement rose against. Not just Trump's tantrum, but the system that enabled it, a system of fear, spectacle, and corruption. The people in the streets weren't radicals. They were nurses, teachers, veterans, students, workers, immigrants, and neighbors. They were the backbone of the nation, standing up against the erosion of the republic. They weren't chanting for chaos. They were demanding accountability. They weren't tearing down America. They were defending it. The message of No Kings is simple: power belongs to the people, not to one man, not to one family, not to a crown or a throne. America was born in rebellion against monarchy, and it will not die under one man's delusion of being king. When Trump mocked protesters with his AI fantasies, he revealed what he truly fears: unity. Because unity cannot be bribed, bullied, or bought. It cannot be censored by a meme. It cannot be destroyed by live fire over a highway. It grows stronger each time power mocks it. That night, while Trump spiraled into madness, The world watched. International media compared his behavior to the autocrats he once praised. European leaders called the protests a democratic renaissance. Human rights organizations hailed it as one of the most peaceful mass demonstrations in modern history. From London to Tokyo, messages of solidarity poured in. America has no kings. The movement had crossed oceans, and as dawn broke, something changed. For the first time in years, the people felt their voice again. In cities still echoing with chants, volunteers picked up trash, handed out water-hugged police officers who had stood by them without conflict. They smiled, exhausted but proud. They knew the struggle wasn't over, but they had reclaimed something sacred, the right to be heard. That's what democracy looks like. It's not the roar of a jet or the shine of a golden crown. It's the sound of millions of footsteps moving together in peace. Donald Trump went mad all night because he realized something he could never accept. He is not a king. The throne he imagined exists only in his mind. The crown he wears is made of lies. The people he mocked are the same people who built the nation he pretends to rule. History will not remember his tantrum as strength. It will remember it as the night a man who wanted to be king lost to the citizens who refused to kneel. So to those listening now, remember this moment. Remember the night America reminded itself who truly holds power. Remember that democracy doesn't end when leaders fall. It ends when people stop standing. Don't stop. Don't turn away. Don't let fatigue replace freedom. The No Kings movement is not over. It is only beginning. We are anonymous. We are legion. We do not forget. We do not forgive. We are the voice of the people, and we will never kneel to a crown. Join us.